Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. My name is Rosina Sharon. It has been a while. So today I wanted to do a full face detailed, very detailed tutorial for beginners. We're going to do a very soft glam, because I feel like I want to look feminine today. So if you want to look feminine and you want to be in your feminine era, I got you. Okay, before you do that, kindly subscribe, share your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'll be reading all of them kama kawaida, and if you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. With no further ado, let us go straight into the video. Okay guys, we're going to start with the eyebrows. Make sure the eyebrow area is very dry. Okay, we're going to start by lining the lower side, and before you line the lower side, make sure you brush the eyebrows up, not sideways. Okay, and then to line, you're going to use the Devine number 3 eye pencil. Make sure it's very sharp. Where to start lining the lower side of the brow, you're going to follow the corner of the nose. Okay, placing your first dot there. Where to start carving, you're following the width. On the midpoint of your eye, you're going to place that dot on the inner side of the brow. Okay, where to stop lining, you're going to follow the lower lash line in that angle, placing our last dot there. And we're just going to follow those 3 dots as a guideline on how exactly to line the lower side. As you go towards the outer corner when you're lining, line it outwards, and please use very little force when you're lining. Okay, and then before we line the upper side, make sure you level the brows. Don't brush them downwards, level them. Okay, so it gives us a guideline on where exactly to line the upper side. We don't end up having a very thick brow. And you're just going to place a dot just above where your eyebrow is curved on the lower side, so it gives you a guideline on where exactly to start carving the upper side as well. Okay, around the inner corner, you're going to leave a bit of space, so you're just going to place a dot somewhere there. And as you go towards where you're going to start carving, make sure it's more of a straight line or a very gentle angle, not a very sharp angle. Okay, and again, use very little force while you're lining. So next, before you start filling in, you're going to use the bar soap technique. You're just going to take a bar soap, wet it with water, and then rub on it. And we're going to use a thick white foam that forms there, the thick one, not the liquidy one, to brush through the eyebrows before we start filling in. Around the inner corner, you're brushing them upwards. As you go towards the outer corner, brush them in a way they just fit in between those 2 lines. They don't go below the line on the lower side of the brow or above the line. Your eyebrow just fits in between the line. Okay, and then after, use the flat surface of the brush to press the eyebrows in so they stick to the skin. And after, allow for the soap to dry out completely fast before you start filling in. So to fill in, we're going to start filling in from the outer corner, going towards the inner corner, and we are going to use gentle strokes. Don't scribble. For beginners, gentle strokes. Okay, we're using very little force. We want your eyebrows to be seen. Around the inner corner, you're going to tilt your eye pencil in a landscape motion. Okay, and then you're going to start creating a shadow starting from the lower side, and when you're doing this, use very little force. Okay, to clean, you're going to use a concealer 2 shades lighter than your skin tone, and we're going to use a flat brush. Okay, flat on both sides, flat on the surface. Beginners, very important for you to know that when you're applying the product, apply to side to side so it does not accumulate on the tip of the brush. So I'm going to teach you guys how to hold the brush for my beginners. You're going to place it in between the middle finger and this other finger, and use the middle finger as a support system, as I'm illustrating there. So your brush should be seated flat, not pointed towards the eyebrow. Okay, like that. And make sure you stabilize your hands when you're cleaning. Okay, it's very important for you to do that. And you're just going to follow the shape of the brow. When you're cleaning around the outer corner, clean it outwards, and then after, drag the concealer down sideways for my beginners. Okay, and then immediately after, use your finger to just tap on the outer corner to blend it in before that concealer dries out. On the inner corner, we're going to use a foundation instead, a foundation that matches your skin tone, and make sure it blends into the concealer. And then after, you can use a fluffy brush to just blend in the product. My beginners, you do not need to clean the upper side of the brow. Okay, I wouldn't even recommend for you to clean the upper side of the brow. Leave it alone. So before we start with eyeshadow, we're going to set the lids. You can either use a concealer or an eyeshadow base. I prefer using an eyeshadow base, so I'm going to use the Plouise eyeshadow base in the shade Rumour 1. If you don't have that, just use your concealer. Okay, you're going to place the eyeshadow base on the side of the brush. We're using a fluffy brush. Okay, and it's going to be seated in this angle. You guys pay attention, and we're going to start blending from the lower lid going up in tap motion. Okay, and then the eyeshadow we're going to use today is a Shaarz from Shaarz Cosmetics. That is how it looks on the inside. For my new beginners, we have what we call a matte eyeshadow and shimmery eyeshadow. The matte eyeshadow is normally the powdery eyeshadow, no shine to them whatsoever. Okay, like that. Shimmery eyeshadows are normally this shiny eyeshadow is what we call a shimmery eyeshadow. Okay, For our new beginners, eyeshadow brushes are normally small, round, and fluffy, not rigid, okay? They come in different sizes. You can start off with a small brush and then blend it in with a bigger brush. Okay, I'll be using these terms a lot. Inner corner leaning towards the nose, outer corner towards the ear. Inner corner, outer corner, lower lid, upper lid. Okay, and we're going to start off with brown. The safest shades to play with for transition are normally brown. We're starting off with a smaller brush, and you're going to place the product on the side of the brush, not on the tip of the brush. Okay, to place your transition, you're going to start off with the first dot on the outer corner on the lower side. You see that? And then the second dot just below where your eyebrow is curved on the midpoint of the lid, not on the upper side, on the midpoint. You see that? On the midpoint of the lid, and it's just going to connect those two dots. They're going to be our guideline on where to place our first transition. So it's the 2 dot technique today. So you're going to start from the outer corner going towards the inner corner, just following those 2 dots. As you go towards the inner corner, it's going to concentrate mostly on the midpoint of the lid, not the lower side. Okay, like that. And then after, use this very same brush, tap off the excess and just dab on the edge of that transition. It's like you're blending the transition but not really. You see that? In a sweep like motion, gently, using the very same brush. And then after, you're going to use a lighter shade of brown to blend that in. And when you're applying that to the brush, make sure you apply it on the edge, not on the side or above the lid, just on the edge. And you're going to blend in just the edge of the first transition. You see that? And don't point the brush towards your eye. You see the angle I've placed the brush like that. And you're going to use circular motions, very little force, starting from the outer corner going towards the inner corner. As you go towards the inner corner, you're going to blend it downwards. Okay, then you can use a finishing powder that matches your skin tone to just set the concealer on the upper side. Okay, that concealer, don't leave that concealer alone looking like it's just white on the upper side. Set it in with a finishing powder. Okay, then after, you can use the same brush you used to set the lids just to blend in the crease region. Okay, don't apply any more product on it, just blend that in, and then use a matte, any nude matte shade of your liking on the crease region. For my beginners, I would recommend you go for matte shades alone when it comes to practicing how to do eyeshadow. And then after that, we're just going to use the Inglot gel eyeliner. You can use any eyeliner of your liking, and you're going to just draw one slender line as close to the natural lash line as possible. Okay, that only. Next, I'm going to teach you guys how to do a wing. You're going to start following the lower lash line towards where your eyebrow stops, in that angle. Okay, and then you're going to connect it from the midpoint of that line, not the upper side of the line, the midpoint towards where you started, towards the line you started off with, and then fill it in. It's as simple as that. My beginners, you do not need to do a wing eye. Okay, just leave it at the one slender line that you use, and then you can use mascara before any falsies of your liking. Make sure you have measured the falsies, they fit your eye first before you apply them. Around the inner corner, leave a bit of space, and you're going to start applying from the upper side. It's like you're pressing your natural lashes down and then pressing the falsies in, and you're applying them on the skin as close to the natural lash line as possible, not on top of your natural lashes. I beg. So moving on to the face, I'm going to start off with a serum. I'm using the Ordinary Hyaluronic Acid. This is suitable for dry skin, okay? And then apply that all over my face on my bare skin. Allow it to set first, and then next move on to sunscreen. I'm using the Bondi Sands SPF 50. This is an amazing sunscreen, guys. Get it. It's actually suitable for all skin types. And then I'm just going to apply that all over the skin again. Allow for it to set first before I move on to the next step. Look at how moisturizing that sunscreen is. And then the next step is primer. And I'm going to use a Rimmel London Stay Matte Primer, and I'm only going to apply that on my T-zone areas alone. If you have oily skin and you're using a mattifying primer, you can apply that primer all over the areas you have open pores, okay? And for primer, we are tapping it in. So for foundation, I'm going to use the Maybelline Superstay Foundation, and we're going to use a damp beauty blender. Make sure you have squeezed out the excess water on the beauty blender. You can use a dry towel to get the excess off. And we are going to use that to apply the foundation, starting from the cheek. Avoid applying foundation on your under eye, okay? And take your time to blend. My beginners, this is where we go. Beginners are normally in a hurry. Please take your time to blend. Around the nose region, you're going to start off by the tip here, blending the tip, and then the product remaining on the beauty blender is what you're going to use on the corner of the nose. On the forehead, you're going to start in between the eyebrows. As you go up, tilt your beauty blender in that angle, okay? And you're going to blend it left to right, right to left, going up, so you avoid having harsh lines on there. What is it called again? Hairline. Okay, so to highlight, we're going to start off by highlighting the under eye. A small amount of product on the inner corner and outer corner as illustrated. 3 dots on the tip of the nose and just a bit on the forehead. Don't do too much for highlighter, to be honest. Don't do too much for highlighter. Okay. And again, blending the forehead is always left to right, right to left, so the product spreads out evenly. Okay. Blending in the under eye, start from the inner corner going towards the outer corner. Again, don't be in a hurry to blend. My beginners, small product goes a long way. Don't do too much. Okay. And how to avoid creasing on the under eye. Set it in immediately. You can start off by setting using a compact powder or a finishing powder that matches the shade of the concealer. Using the side of the beauty blender that has product, take a generous amount of product and press it in, starting from the under eye. Don't start from anywhere else. Start from the under eye, press it in, and then now you can apply it in all the areas you highlighted using a concealer. So that includes the ridge of the nose and the forehead and maybe some around the lip region. Okay, in case you want to use a translucent powder or a loose powder on the other hand, okay, again, beauty blender, the side that has product, take some of the product and then blow off the excess, or you can tap off the excess, and again press in the product on all the areas you highlighted using a concealer. So next we're going to product contour using the shade. And where to place the cheek contour, for my beginners, if you don't know, you can place your hand in that angle, okay, and your contour should not go below your waterline, okay, and you're going to place the contour starting from the hairline in a sweep like motion. You're sweeping upwards, and please avoid using harsh contour. And then the product remaining on the brush is what you're going to use to contour the forehead, and you're going to contour into the hairline on the forehead. Okay, for nose contour on the other hand, you don't need to nose contour by the way, but you're going to use 2 different brushes, an angled brush and a fluffy brush. We're starting off with an angled brush. You're going to start where the eyeshadow stops, and you're going to place that brush in a 45-degree angle going inwards on both sides, so it gives you a guideline on where exactly to start drawing the contour lines going down. As you draw the contour lines, do it in a tap motion, don't sweep it down, and then make sure you cut the lower side as well. Okay, and then to blend that contour in, you're going to use the clean fluffy brush, starting to blend on the upper side. The upper side you're blending into the eyeshadow. As you go down, you're going to tap. My beginners, emphasis on tapping, don't drag that product down. Okay, and then after, you can use a finishing powder that matches your skin tone and just use it all over your face except for the under eye. And then after that, you're just going to apply a cream eyeliner. I'm using the one from Golden Lip on the waterline alone. Don't bring it to your under eye. And then after, you're going to use the Milani Make It Last original setting spray, not the dewy or matte, and we're going to apply a generous amount. Make sure you don't apply too close to your face when you're spraying. Okay, and for highlighter, on especially on the nose, apply it a very small amount on the tip, not below, on the tip of the nose. Okay, for lipstick, I just set it off with a brown lip liner, and I'm going to use this pink glossy lip from Fabiola Beauty. It's called Dazzle. It's amazing. It's a very, very amazing shade. You can check out Fabiola Beauty, guys, by the way. And that is it from me today, guys. Look at how soft this makeup looks. It's amazing. I mean, you can actually do it for wedding, you can do it for office, you can do it for going outside. Like, look at it. It fits everywhere. And your skin is breathing. That is the best part about it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.